Have you ever pondered on the possibility of the French Revolution culminating into a stable constitutional monarchy? A fascinating question, isn't it? But before we dive into this hypothetical, let's first understand the actual French Revolution as we know it. The late 18th century was a time of dramatic social and political upheaval in France. The old regime, a system of absolute monarchy that had governed the country for centuries, was on the brink of collapse. The people were fed up with social inequality, political corruption, and economic hardship. And so, the French Revolution began in 1789, a period defined by radical political and societal change. The monarchy, once the pinnacle of French society, was overthrown. King Louis XVI, who had ruled with an iron fist, was executed in 1793, marking the end of more than 1,000 years of continuous monarchy in France. This was a clear signal that the revolutionaries were serious about their demands for a fairer society. But the fall of the monarchy did not bring stability. Instead, it gave birth to the Reign of Terror, a period of intense violence and political purges. The guillotine, a symbol of the revolution, claimed the lives of tens of thousands of people. This was a time when radical ideologies held sway, and fear was the order of the day. In the midst of this chaos, the First French Republic was born. But the Republic, too, was short-lived. It was soon replaced by the rise of a charismatic and ambitious leader, Napoleon Bonaparte. Napoleon's ascension marked the beginning of the Napoleonic Wars, a series of brutal conflicts that would reshape the map of Europe and leave a lasting impact on world history. This was the French Revolution, as history has recorded it. But what if the events had unfolded differently? What if, instead of descending into radicalism and violence, the French Revolution had led to the establishment of a stable constitutional monarchy? Let's explore this intriguing hypothetical in our next scene. Now imagine a world where the French Revolution led to a stable constitutional monarchy instead. Picture this: the late 18th century, France is in the throes of a great upheaval. The people rise, demanding liberty, equality, fraternity. But in this alternate universe, the revolution takes a different turn. The monarchy doesn't crumble under the weight of public outrage. Instead, it adapts, transforms, evolves. The king doesn't lose his head, he loses absolute power. The guillotine is less busy. The monarchy retains its crown but shares the reins of power with the people, establishing a constitutional monarchy. A delicate balance of power is struck between the monarch and a representative assembly. The radical ideologies that mark the actual French Revolution are tempered, and the tumultuous Napoleonic era is sidestepped. A different France emerges, a different Europe, a different world history. Intriguing, isn't it? Let's delve deeper into this alternative timeline. In this parallel reality, the French Revolution takes a different turn. Picture this: the year is 1789. The air in France is thick with the scent of revolution. The monarchy, under King Louis XVI, sensing the winds of change, makes a bold decision. Instead of resisting the revolutionaries, they choose to compromise. They agree to limit their powers and share authority with a constitutionally established parliament. This is a seismic shift. The monarchy, once absolute and unyielding, now sits side by side with the people's representatives. The court at Versailles becomes a hub of negotiation and diplomacy, rather than a symbol of regal excess and tyranny. The king's role transforms from ruler to constitutional monarch, his powers checked and balanced by the parliament. In this hypothetical scenario, the Reign of Terror, a period of intense violence and radicalization, never happens. The guillotine, that infamous symbol of the revolution, remains a grim specter rather than a tangible reality. The streets of Paris are not stained with the blood of the aristocracy, and the air is not filled with the cries of liberty, equality, fraternity, or death. And what of the radical ideologies that actually fueled the French Revolution? In this alternate timeline, they don't gain as much traction. The people, having a say in their government through the parliament, are less inclined to rally behind radical ideas. The fiery words of Robespierre and his compatriots find less fertile ground in the hearts of the French populace. The revolution becomes a movement of reform, not radical change. The revolution has ended, not in bloodshed and terror, but with compromise and progression. The monarchy has not been overthrown, but reformed. The people have not seized power, but rather they have been given a stake in it. This is a French Revolution quite unlike the one we know, but it's a fascinating scenario to ponder nonetheless. With a stable constitutional monarchy, the aftermath of the French Revolution looks quite different. Picture the French Revolution as a ripple in time, a stone cast into the still pond of history. Its waves spread far and wide, touching every shore of Europe and beyond. But what if the stone was smaller, its impact less dramatic? What if the French Revolution had resulted in a stable constitutional monarchy rather than giving birth to radical ideologies and the Napoleonic Wars? Let's sail on this sea of speculation. In this alternate timeline, the French monarchy, tempered by constitutional checks and balances, could have served as a bulwark against the rise of radical ideologies. The Reign of Terror, that dark period of mass executions and rampant paranoia, might have been avoided. The guillotine, instead of becoming a symbol of the revolution, would remain a mere instrument of justice, used sparingly and with due process. Without the radical shift towards republicanism, France might have found itself less at odds with the monarchies of Europe. This could have led to a more tranquil political landscape, where diplomacy takes precedence over warfare. The Napoleonic Wars, those bloody conflicts that swept across Europe, might never have taken place. Consider the lives saved, the cities unscathed, the art and culture preserved. In this revised narrative, Napoleon Bonaparte might have remained a minor figure, his ambitions checked by a stable government. The French Empire, instead of spreading its revolutionary ideals by the sword, could have influenced Europe through peaceful means, setting an example of a successful merger between monarchy and democracy. This hypothetical aftermath, however, is not without its own set of challenges. A constitutional monarchy might have struggled to maintain the delicate balance between royal prerogative and the people's will. Social inequality, a major catalyst of the revolution, might have persisted, leading to further unrest down the line. Despite these potential pitfalls, this alternate reality presents a dramatically different Europe, one shaped by compromise and balanced power. Now that we've explored both realities, how do they compare? Looking at the actual French Revolution, we see a narrative of radical ideologies, violent upheavals, and the rise of an ambitious leader, Napoleon Bonaparte. The revolution, driven by the demands for liberty, equality, and fraternity, led to the overthrow of the monarchy, the Reign of Terror, and ultimately the establishment of the French Empire under Napoleon. This era significantly shaped Europe and the world, leading to widespread wars, the spread of nationalism, and significant political changes. In contrast, our hypothetical scenario paints a different picture. Had the French Revolution resulted in a stable constitutional monarchy, the course of history might have veered in a different direction. The Reign of Terror could have been avoided, sparing countless lives. Instead of Napoleon's rise to power, we might have seen a more balanced power structure, with the monarchy and the people sharing control. The widespread wars that dominated Europe due to Napoleon's ambitions could have been averted, leading to a more peaceful continent. The ripple effects of such a change would be immense. A stable constitutional monarchy in France might have encouraged similar movements in other parts of Europe, promoting a more gradual transition to democracy. This could have potentially prevented the rise of radical ideologies in the 19th and 20th centuries, changing the course of world wars and the political landscape as we know it. However, it's essential to remember that history doesn't follow a simple cause and effect relationship. Each event, each decision, each outcome is interconnected in ways that are often difficult to predict. Our hypothetical scenario is just one of countless possibilities that could have emerged from the tumultuous period of the French Revolution. History is a complex tapestry of events, decisions, and outcomes. What if scenarios invite us to consider the endless possibilities that lie within each historical moment?